Every survivor has a story about the day the world fell apart. Johnathan Hayes never imagined his would begin during a quiet vacation in Fallis Lake. What should have been 5 peaceful days became the first day of humanity's collapse. Johnathan Hayes, a police officer from Riverside, who had recently divorced his wife, woke after a long night of drinking. Strange noises echoed outside his new rented house, far too unsettling to ignore. Before stepping out, he turned on the radio. Reports of violence, riots, and emergency warnings filled the airwaves, but none of them explained what was really happening. Whatever had begun, it was spreading fast. Staying inside would not provide any answers. Johnathan cautiously stepped outside, scanning every corner of the quiet neighborhood. The silence felt wrong, as if everyone had disappeared overnight. Hoping to find someone who knew what was happening, Johnathan crossed to Dean's house, the drinking buddy he just met yesterday. No one answered. The house had already been abandoned. He found a hoodie and a small kitchen knife. It wasn't much, but it was enough to face whatever waited outside. Not long after, Johnathan encountered someone wandering aimlessly through the street. He tried to avoid the stranger, but it noticed him first. Forced to defend himself, Johnathan killed his first infected. From that moment on, there was no denying reality anymore. Looking for more supplies, Johnathan entered another house. Suddenly, a house alarm shattered the silence. The sound echoed through the neighborhood, drawing infected from every direction. The quiet streets turned into a nightmare, and survival became his only priority. While escaping, Johnathan checked every abandoned car he passed, hoping to find a working vehicle. Instead, the growing horde forced him into another desperate fight. Realizing he couldn't keep fighting forever, Johnathan slipped into a nearby store. He grabbed only the essentials before disappearing again, unwilling to waste another second. After putting some distance between himself and the horde, only a handful of infected remained. This time, Johnathan stood his ground. Every infected he eliminated made the road ahead a little safer. During the fight, Johnathan spotted a gas station in the distance. It offered something he desperately needed: shelter and hope. If fortune was on his side, it might even lead him to a vehicle. Surprisingly, the gas station was empty. For the first time since waking up, Johnathan found a place where he could finally catch his breath. Behind locked doors, Johnathan listened to the latest news. Officials still urged people to remain calm, but the empty streets outside told a different story. While the broadcast continued, he organized his supplies and searched every room. If this place was going to keep him alive, he needed to know exactly what it could offer. Once everything was secure, Johnathan explored the area around the station. Not far away, he discovered an abandoned trailer. A few infected wandered nearby. After dealing with them, Johnathan found a small parking lot filled with abandoned vehicles. One of them could become his ticket home. Every car was locked. Just as hope began to fade, Johnathan spotted a key lying on the ground. It was a gamble, but the blue sedan responded immediately. After hours of bad luck, fortune had finally smiled on him. Johnathan filled a gas can, fueled the sedan, and returned to the station to top off the tank. With a reliable vehicle finally ready, Riverside no longer felt out of reach. Before leaving Fallis Lake, Johnathan searched every street one last time. Not for supplies, but for survivors. As a police officer, he couldn't simply drive away without trying. Unfortunately, every road led to the same conclusion. The town belonged to the dead. Johnathan decided to tow the trailer back to the station, hoping the extra storage would help in the future. Instead, the added weight slowed the sedan considerably. He began wondering whether keeping it was worth the risk. By evening, exhaustion finally caught up with him. He cleaned himself, washed his clothes, listened to another news broadcast, and quietly smoked a cigarette. It was the closest thing to a normal evening he would have again. Before going to bed, Johnathan blocked the bedroom door with a chair and stretched his tired body. Old habits from years of police work were hard to forget. Johnathan woke at 2:20 in the morning, unable to sleep. The weight of everything that had happened refused to leave his mind. Before sunrise, he removed the trailer. It was finally time to return to Riverside. Even then, duty came first. Johnathan searched the town one last time, hoping someone might still need help. Once again, he found nothing but silence. With nothing left to do, Johnathan packed his supplies and pointed the sedan toward home. Halfway to Riverside, a desperate scream echoed somewhere in the distance. Johnathan hesitated for just a moment. Despite everything, he couldn't ignore someone who might still be alive. A nearby house appeared on his map, and he changed course immediately. By the time Johnathan arrived, the screaming had already stopped.
Hey!
Only infected remained. He searched every room, called out repeatedly, and waited.
Hey!
No one answered. Before leaving, he turned on the radio once more, hoping to hear another human voice. None came.
Hey!
Johnathan continued his journey. Weaving carefully through abandoned vehicles and growing crowds of infected. The closer he came to Riverside, the worse everything looked. As soon as Riverside came into view, Johnathan drove straight toward the neighborhood where he and his former wife had once lived. Nothing else mattered anymore. The streets were overrun. Johnathan fought relentlessly, clearing every infected standing between him and his home. He refused to believe he had come this far, only to give up. During the battle, Johnathan recognized Officer Ben, a fellow police officer, standing motionless inside his house. There was no saving him anymore. With a heavy heart, Johnathan ended his friend's suffering. More infected kept arriving. Johnathan fought, retreated, and fought again. Every swing of the crowbar drained what little strength he had left. Exhaustion finally caught up with him. One mistake was all it took. An infected scratched his arm. Fear replaced determination almost instantly. Refusing to surrender, Johnathan came up with a desperate solution. If he couldn't defeat them on foot, he would use the sedan. Steel proved far more effective than exhaustion ever could. With the road briefly clear, Johnathan rushed inside his old home. He searched every room, hoping his former wife had somehow survived. The house answered only with silence. Johnathan wanted to search Ben's house next, but another wave of infected forced him back into the fight. At one terrifying moment, death came within inches of his face. Somehow, luck remained on his side. And eventually the street fell silent once again. Johnathan sat alone inside the house he had fought so hard to reach. His wife was gone. His friend was dead. And the fresh scratch on his arm raised a terrifying question. Had he survived the outbreak, only to become part of it?